guys, welcome to another PK 12 Productions, and what we're going to do now is show you how to install Windows 7 from a USB flash drive on your MacBook Air via bootcamp. Now what you need for this is obviously Windows 7 disk, and you're going to need obviously a secondary computer so you can do this from that has Windows 7 on it. Plus you're going to also need two flash drives, one for your Windows 7 installation. So this flash drive will become your Windows 7 CD. So the next thing you'll need is a secondary flash drive, and this one will be for all your bootcamp drivers basically. And of course your MacBook Air. Everything else I'll explain in the video on what you need. And yeah, enjoy installing your Windows 7 bootcamp without a DVD drive. Cheers. Alright, so if you want to actually make an ISO, I mean a USB, you want to make a USB flash drive, your Windows 7 or Windows whatever version installation, what you need to do is download an application called Windows 7 USB DVD download tool. I'll have an actual link in the description so you can actually download it, so that's all good. But once you've got that installed, just go straight into it. You get this straight off the Microsoft site because this is a Microsoft tool. So we'll open that up. When it opens up, there we go. So I've just opened it up twice. Nice. Okay. Alright, so this is basically what it comes up as. So what you need to do is actually choose the ISO. So if you haven't made an ISO of your Windows 7 CD, you need to do that first. But once you have an ISO, you need to then go to the location of that ISO. Okay, so now that we've got the ISO in there, we can now go into desktop, select the ISO and go next. Alright, so this is where it gets pretty easy. All you have to do is select USB drive or DVD drive. So as long as you've got your USB drive in your computer, you should be able to go straight into it. So USB drive, and there you pretty much select the USB drive you want. Obviously at the moment I've already done this already, so I don't need to do it. So basically all you have to do is select it and then press begin copying. It's very straightforward. I don't need to take you through that step because it is really that easy. After it's done, it'll basically finish and you take your Windows 7, newly made Windows 7 thumb drive out. Make sure it's a 4 gig minimum. Windows 7, for Windows 7 you need at least 4 gigs flash drive. So that should actually work out quite well. So if we close that, I'm just going to do that. So that is how you pretty much get Windows 7 off your CD onto a flash drive. Let's install Windows 7 on a bootcamp. In order to do this, you need to do one of two things. It's actually quite easy. You need to actually first create a Windows 7 USB flash drive, which we'll cover in this video. Then the other thing also is to also have another USB flash drive for use to download all the bootcamp drivers and all that sort of stuff. But first thing that you need to do before you do anything is to install an application called rEFIt. It's EFI is basically rEFIt is what it's called. Now basically what this application does is it pretty much allows EFI to actually work. So you can actually see Windows works off EFI, so basically macOS won't support or see it won't see a EFI bootable USB drive that your Windows 7 will be created on. So basically what you have to do is install this so it then sees it. You can uninstall it afterwards, it doesn't really matter. It's only just to read USB flash drive. Once you've got bootcamp installed, you can solder it off. It doesn't really matter. So basically, it's a 6 meg file. You go to this website. I'll put the link in the description, guys. Just pick the latest one here, which is 0.1.4, and just hit download. I've already done that, obviously, so here it is here. Just need to mount it. Just double click on the installation. Continue, agreed. Okay, install directly to your drive, and just install. Alright, so basically once you've got this installed, you'll need to restart and you'll need to reboot twice in order for this to work for you. So I'm just going to do that now, so hold on tight. Okay, we're just going to hit close now, so it should actually reboot. We're just going to reboot. Alright, so you've got to restart twice. I've done this before, but I've done this already to this laptop. So maybe I may not have to do it twice. It really depends. But what you're looking for when you're rebooting is pretty much the EFI menu. So it didn't come up, so therefore you need to reboot again. So you have to reboot twice. I'll show you why in a sec. And here we go. That's the menu you want to actually be looking at. The rEFIt application. So that's the one you want to actually see. So once that's up, we can now run into bootcamp. So we'll go into macOS now, and we'll go into bootcamp. So EFI is running, and everything's working fine now. Alright, so let's see what we can do with bootcamp. Right, so we've successfully installed EFI. Now for the next part of this, we need to actually now go into bootcamp. So let's go into bootcamp. Utility, there we go, nice. Alright, so basically it tells you all this stuff here. You don't need to worry about that. You just need to hit continue. Now this is where the second USB drive comes in handy. You pretty much, when you first do this for the very first time, you need to go through this stage here. Download the Windows support software for Mac. So make sure you're connected to an internet connection, and make sure you have your USB drive for your drivers in your MacBook Air. For me, however, I don't have to do that because I've already got a USB drive with that. So we just go next. Alright, so now we need to partition our our Windows partition. So I'm just going to put it to 28 gigabytes at the moment. So I'm just going to go partition. Alright, so the partitioning process will actually take a little bit of a while. Once this is done, I'll be able to then take you through the rest of what you need to do. All good, guys. You presented pretty much with this part of your bootcamp assistant. Now, you don't want to hit start installation, because if you hit start installation, it's going to then check if you have an actual CD. So what you need to do is actually say quit and install later. Okay, so that's pretty much the first process. The first process to bootcamp. Now the next thing you want to actually do is put in your Windows 7 drive. Right, so what you want to do is take your newly created Windows 7 flash drive, and you want to put that into your MacBook Air before you actually reboot. So I'm just going to do that now. Lower into the USB drive. Awesome. So that's in there now. Alright, just ignore that. Alright, so this is our Windows 7 flash. It's all there. So now what we're going to do is actually restart. And this will take us into EFI. It's important when you're doing this installation to actually take away any USB or devices or anything like that. So here we are here. So if you could see that, we're looking at the USB drive here, right there. So it's that one there. This would be a bootcamp drive over there that has nothing on it. So this is it here. This is the drive you want to go into. And you simply just press enter. And what's this got to do? Well, it's got to boot off your flash drive and install Windows 7. As you'll see right here. Right, and it will be actually the quickest install of Windows 7 you'll ever do, because it runs completely off the flash drive, and because the MacBook Air has pretty much a has flash storage as well, it'll be even quicker. Because you're going flash to flash. Even though you're going through USB, you're still getting the most benefit out of it. You're getting more speed than you would off a DVD drive, without any shadow of a doubt. Right, so this will take a bit of a while to actually load up. Right, and we're going into Windows 7 installation. Awesome. So let's pick out what we want and get this going. So we're in Australia. Obviously, yeah, US keyboard, and install now. Alright, so just like any other bootcamp installation, it's all the same from here. So we just pretty much go custom advanced, we choose our bootcamp partition, we go drive options, we make sure we format the bootcamp partition in NTFS. Now that's done, so pretty much now all you have to do is go next, and it pretty much goes through the normal Windows procedure of installing all your files. Alright, so we're nearly finished. We're actually going for the restart stage now of the Windows installation. Alright, so EFI is now up. All we have to do now is go straight into the Windows partition. Right, so Windows is now booting and it's fully installed. We didn't have to actually have a CD drive or anything like that. This will show up completely on your bootcamp drive in Mac OS, so it'd be completely recognized. This is not a separate entity or installation. This will actually go through its Mac OS. This will go through its Windows updating sequence, and will then go into more in depth on it. So basically, it's completing its installation, and I'll come back here once we're in Windows 7, and we'll install the bootcamp drivers. Cheers. Alright, so we're in Windows 7 at the moment, so this is a stock standard install, no drivers whatsoever in it at the moment. So what we want to do is unmount our Windows 7 drive, do that down here. Eject flash drive. Nice, so we'll take that out. I didn't have to take it out, but I'm taking it out anyway because I don't need it anymore. So now we're going to take the flash drive that you stored, basically all your drivers, bootcamp drivers and everything like that, that you download directly via bootcamp, and we're going to stick this in and let it run. Okay, so it won't actually run automatically, but you can simply just go into here and hit the setup. Alright, and we hit yes. So it's up there. So this is the standard bootcamp installation. So basically it's the latest one, version 3.1, and just hit next. This is Windows 7 64-bit. And it still works when you run bootcamp. It'll install all the drivers, so don't worry about that. So we'll go accept, we're going to install, and now it's going to go through the installation of all your bootcamp drivers. Rightio, so our bootcamp installation is now complete. So we're now going to hit finish and reboot. At this point too, you could probably take out, we can wait for that later. So we'll just go into bootcamp. So going into Windows 7 now. Right, so Windows 7 will install completely off a flash drive on your MacBook Air. You don't need a DVD drive. You can save yourself the $100 on the DVD drive to install your Windows 7 installation. All you need is a flash drive, and that is all there is to it. And there we have it, guys. Windows 7 is completely installed with bootcamp installation as well. We've got nothing else to say. As you can see, these shortcuts work here, volume works, even the magic mouse and the wireless keyboard work automatically without any issues whatsoever. One thing you probably just have to do straight up is change, if you like, the mirrored effect Windows 7. There you go. So that's it, guys. So now I'm going to actually show you guys how to actually remove EFI. And basically that's all you need to do. Cheers. Right, so you've just got bootcamp installed, right? So now you want to get rid of your rEFI menu. So you don't want it to actually be there anymore. You just want the normal Windows Alt menu selection. So here's your bootcamp partition. As you can see, Windows 7 is already all installed and all good. So all you really need to do now is go into Finder, go into your Macintosh HD, so your hard drive, and just go straight into Library, go into Startup Items, and unless you really want to reuse it again, you can choose to either rename it or delete it. In this case, I don't intend to use it again, so I'm going to delete it. So it will require obviously your administration password for this because it is a system file. But once that is gone, you're pretty much all sweet, and you don't need to worry about that anymore. And it's all gone. So that's how we do it, guys. And when you restart now, it'll be all sweet. You'll be able to go into bootcamp by pressing Alt, and there will be no issues there. And this is pretty much how you install Windows 7 from a flash drive. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments how you did. Cheers.